Welcome into episode number 132 of About the Cards podcast, live tonight on YouTube, as always, with us here, host Stephen Loeffler at Junkwax Twins.
I didn't stutter, Rich.
Ben Wilson at Our Trading Cards, and I'm Tim Shevler, Big Chef 79. We are a podcast by collectors for collectors, hoping to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. We're live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific on YouTube. Periscope until March, until it goes away. Darn it. Facebook Live. Follow us on Twitter at About the Cards. We're available as a podcast everywhere. And check out the website, aboutthecards.wordpress.com. And before we get into it, guys, today, crazy news. And it's not that Kim and Kanye broke up and he might be dating some guy named Jeffree Star. I don't know. No, it has to deal with what happened at the Capitol, in our nation's capital today. And this show is here for people to get away from all that other stuff. It's the one thing I learned listening to Matthew Berry's podcast, the Fantasy Football Focus on ESPN, was that when there was shootings or all these bad things going on in the world, they would come and they would still do their show, and they'd preface it by saying, listen, we're going to do this show because we know people come to us to get away from the day-to-day. And to just kind of go in and have something where you can just kind of focus on something else for a little bit. And we're going to hopefully provide that for you here for the next 90-plus minutes. But personally, like, what I can say about this is it does not matter where you stand politically, what you believe in, and anything like that. I think today is something that should never have happened. Should never happen in the United States. And that's what I think really as political as I'm going to be about it. I don't get political anywhere because it's not. I don't want the fights. It's not worth it. It's not worth the anger. But you guys, if you have anything to say before we get started, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was something we probably should talk about. But we're here to talk sports cards. But if you guys have some thoughts before we get rocking and rolling about the hobby, feel free to hop in.
No, it's a pretty good summary.
Just as a quick follow-up to that, since you said that, that's all we're going to talk about it. It's 2021. It's a new year. No checklists already for holiday and mini and all this other stuff. So, hey, we picked up right where we left off in 2020. It's a new collector year. Let's get excited about what this year has to hold. No more Project 2020. That's already off to a good hobby foot as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, hey, this is a new year. Let's see what this hobby brings for us. Is the bubble going to burst? Is it going to get bigger? Who knows? It'll be a fun year, I think.
Well, let's just all hope that it can get bigger. The stimulus, if it goes to 2,000, trust me, doesn't matter what it is. prices are going to go up, right?
So considering, without getting political again, obviously we also know that the Georgia runoff happened. And the Senate now has Democratic control. And
Loeffler lost.
And McConnell was the reason that the stimulus was 600 and not 2,000, at least the main reason. It's really going to look like at some point, probably within the next 6 to 8 weeks, that stimulus will get raised to what we don't know, to 2,000 probably. So yes, if you like to speculate, now would be the time to buy because there's going to be a lot of fresh money coming up in the next couple of weeks. So just saying.
Yeah. So I want to give a quick shout out, and I forgot to do this last week. I was just taking a drink of my beverage here. I have some water. But my sister she's got this guzzler thing that she keeps her water in, and she always has stickers on it. And she's a teacher, and it's got a bunch of different stuff. So I found a website called redbubble.com. Now, these are independent artists that put their artwork up, and then you can pay, and they will have stickers made, and then they mail them all together to you when the company does that, and they pay the artist. I mean, I was able to get, an old school Topps logo, a KU logo, because I love KU football, but Barry Sanders, some Sandlot stickers, George Brett, where it says third base, a Buster Posey that my son ripped off. Garrett Hampson even had a sticker on there, so I got one of his, a little Peyton Manning celebrating. I have these Jordans, so I like those. So I just thought it was really cool. I thought I'd give them a quick shout out because I know a lot of collectors, for PCs or stuff, if they want to put something cool for their players, that you can go on there and pick it up. So Redbubble.com.
What the stickers cost you?
Anywhere from $1 to like $3
For what you got. What do you think you spent?
I spent like $20.
Gotcha.
But the more I bought, I got it like they offered me like a discount or whatever, and that paid for like $4 for the shipping or whatever it was, the shipping and handle. I don't remember exactly what it was. It didn't take too long to get, a couple weeks. Like I was really happy with what I bought, and I still have a couple stickers I didn't even get to use. So
that's awesome. Growing up, I had a toy box, and stickers were all over the place, right? So, and obviously, as I started getting into card collecting in the latter part of the '80s, man, that whole toy box was nothing but stickers. It was really cool, man. You pull a Fleer, 87 Fleer, peel that off. By the way, all of my 87 Fleer stickers now have no more adhesive on the back end. I try to rip an old Yankees one off just because I had one in hand and smacked that right on the side of my desk out in the garage, and it just went womp, womp, womp.
Yeah. So I was really happy with it. I meant to bring it up a couple of weeks ago. When I got it.
That's awesome.
So they're super duper nice. So anyway, quick shout out. An independent artist. I mean, they're trying to make their way a couple bucks at a time, and hey, why not, right? Let's get into it. Last week's releases. The week that was last week's releases. Topps Living Week 147. We had a card 375. Jose Canseco, outfielder, Oakland Athletics. Ben was excited. And then card 376, Tony Gonsolin, rookie pitcher of the Dodgers. No updates on sold numbers yet. They're about a week or so behind when they're putting those out. We also had 2020 Topps Transcendent Collection drop and 2020 Topps Heritage High Number Baseball drop. Which I just got 3 boxes if anybody's looking for one. Let me know.
Fancy looking card.
Yeah.
Dodgers okay.
Still like the Canseco. I think it was a good card.
From 88.
Yeah. Hot off the presses, this week's new releases. Topps Living Week 148. We had a change this week. We still have 2 cards. We had card 377, Garrett Cole, pitcher, New York Yankees. His second card, he was a Houston Astro in his first. And card 378, Cole Tucker, outfielder, Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, the Cole Tucker is done by Miami Soto, right? The original artist. But the Garrett Cole has been done now by Jared Kelly. He's going to be doing 1 card a week, and she'll be doing 1 card a week. But I was really excited to see Jared Kelly on there because when I first started listening to Cardboard Connection Radio back in 2012, he was actually a guest. And there was a trivia question, and I called in and was name some of the Big Red Machine, and I won. And he ends up sending me this original piece of artwork that says, you're a knockout. And it's a picture of a boxer dog. Well, up until August, I had a boxer dog named Madden. This is a fawn face. He had black, but it was still super cool to me that a random piece of art that I won from a sports card podcast and show actually was a dog that I had. So I've had this forever. He actually wrote a really cool note that I do have, and he even signed the back of it. So I'm very excited to see him come into this and get to add his artwork. And then, Ben, you said something about it being an homage to an earlier Topps Living card.
Yeah, so this is from Topps Living Stat. He had noticed that it appears to have a very similar background to card number 1, which was Aaron Judge, kind of the New York background behind it. So I don't know if that was intentional, unintentional. I don't know if it's directly similar or not. Obviously, it looks like they could have been standing side by side, or same camera angle, very close. So whether it was intentional or not, it's kind of cool. And little hesitant, new artist. We don't know what he was going to bring compared to what she's brought throughout the entire life of this program. But now that we've seen his work alongside her work, hey, if this is what helps keep this program alive for years to come.
Somebody pointed out to me they both have long necks this week, and I really didn't notice it first. But if you look at the Cole and Tucker, I think it might be just the angle of the pictures that they used as inspiration, but it looks like they have elongated necks.
They do, yeah. I know. I didn't notice that on the Tucker. I noticed that on the Cole.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on the Garrett Cole.
Yeah, because they're both Coles. It's Garrett Cole Tucker.
It is. It's like the old school,
Stuart
right?
Scott Van Pelt.
Like the old school 82s, right? Black and blue, and then you had Felix Jose Canseco. I think they did that in 89, I want to say.
And then in 91, there was Black and Decker, for Bud Black and Steve Decker for the Giants.
I'm sorry, those cards need to come back. Somebody needs to come on. With all the crap that they crap out on us, why haven't they brought that idea back? There's plenty of the name game that you can play.
Yeah, and Kinslet, I can't unsee the long necks now. I know either can I. Or have like one like a throwback for the Angels, salmon and trout.
Yeah, I mean, is that not a perfect idea for Throwback Thursday to have that kind of stuff? I mean, that would be awesome.
So we had to throw the comparison between the first card and Garrett Cole. How's this for a comparison? Cole Tucker and Metallica's bassist.
The hair for sure. 2020 Panini Elite Extra Edition. That's a lot to say. Baseball came out today. It's $100 a box. Not bad price. $100 a box. 5 cards per pack. 5 packs per box. 8 autographs for $100. 2 mem cards. You're getting 10 hits for $100. And 2 Opti Chrome inserts. There's a 196 card base set. All the base cards are numbered out of $9.99. It's a mix of draft picks and other prospects currently in the minors. There's also a 30-player subset from the Dominican Prospect League, and those are guys that have not even signed MLB contracts yet. And they also, too, will have autographs in there. The autographs really are the real chase in the set. And they also have a subset called Hidden Gem Autos, and those feature players that might not be like the top draft picks. They might not be, the guys we all know, but they're going to have autographs in there. So it's pretty interesting. I mean, Elite Extra Edition's always been one where you just kind of open it and then put it away for a long time. And again, like Bowman Chrome, even more so. Because now with these Dominican guys, you don't know if they're ever going to sign. We saw Jonas's half-brother is in the set. And who knows where he goes. I think he's only like 16. But who knows what happens, and maybe find something good. I remember I had a Kevin Biggio autograph. I know it was from like an under 18 team autograph for forever. So
my private collection actually has quite a bit of these because he was featured in Elite Extra as a college talent. As well, Luis was featured as a Dominican guy. But yeah, no, even more so than the Team USA sets outside of like the 12U. It's very much a set sleeve, binder, top load, and then forget about for 6 years.
Yeah, it's really good though. It's really good value. I had tweeted out a week ago, a couple days back. I've got to collect everything that says Oakland on it. I just have that, completist disease. But this product does nothing. I said it's just a bad product. It looks generic. It looks like something you'd find at the 99-cent store, and you'd open up. What was that? Those old football cards, hits or whatever they were.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
From like 7-8 years ago. I did end up adding this stuff to my checklist just because there is actually a Miguel Tejada, Robert Pawson card that I might, if I can get this stuff cheap, but all of a sudden if I start getting into the 5, you have to look at the sum of the parts. If it's going to cost me $50 to grab everything on the checklist, I'm good. I'll buy something else. It's just, it doesn't.
Yeah, but if that's where you can get a Pawson auto and you can say I have one, right? That kind of thing. So,
but that's the thing. He's so far away. I'll wait 5 years to buy one, and either I'll pay a lot more than I could get one for it now if he's good. He'll be a Kansas City Royal, or he'll be in the $2 box, as our buddy Chris Harris likes to say. It's just, hey, wait out the market.
Yep. 2021 Upper Deck Synergy Hockey drops tomorrow. $90 a box, 8-pack per box, 3 cards per pack. You're going to get 8 red parallels, which is 1 a box. You're going to get 3 of the following, a combination of 3 of the following: constant threat, perennial all-stars, or roaring 20s insert. 4 exceptional stars, futures, or young star inserts, and 3 synergy FX inserts. It's a 135 card base set, but the base set is the chase. There are 60 vets, all numbered to 21. There are 15 legends, all numbered to 11. And there's 60 rookies numbered out of 21 or 11 based on the player. So only 11 full complete sets can ever be made. Autographs aren't even guaranteed in a box. They're 1 in every 160 packs, and they offer veteran and rookies. There's a bounty program this year that revolves around the base set's red parallels. Those that complete it fast get exclusive cards not in packs. The first 23 people to get a Cast for Greatness card number 36. For those first 10, there will be an additional full set of 36 Cast for Greatness cards. And on top of that, the first 5 will get an additional Cast of Greatness purple number 36. So you complete that set, and you're one of the first 23 people, you're getting an extra card. If you're one of the first 10, you get an extra card. If you're one of the first 5, you get another extra card. So that's pretty fun to race to build an insert set. And they've done this previously as well, which it adds something to it, right? It's a $90 product. You're not getting a ton of cards, but it changes. It's something different. So.
And it's not hit driven. I mean, you could argue that I mean, we saw this with Topps Finest when the short prints started selling for like $15-$20 each. It's like all of a sudden the hobby realized that there's something beyond just chasing that Bowman Chrome autograph, you know, and all of a sudden it's nice to see that there's more of an interest in this case, inserts. You know, why not?
Yeah.
If it falls flat, it falls flat. But if it doesn't, then it's a great addition to the hobby.
No, definitely. 1920 Panini Eminence basketball comes out Friday. And it's only going to be $30,000 a box. From what I found.
Well, I just dropped some money on Transcendent, so I'll have to sit this one out.
It's 1 pack, 10 cards per pack, 9 autographs, and 1 additional card. It's a 29-card base set. There's no card number 7, which is weird. All numbered to 10. This is basically what Ryan Cracknell called a luxury line release. The line doesn't appear often. This is the 3rd release of Eminence. The first was in 14-15. They did a special release for Kobe only in 2017. All cards are all autographs are on card, thank God. And then memorabilia is game used. So at least they got those 2 things right. They also have precious metals and gems. There are silver, gold, and platinum bars and other inserts. Among them are Larry O'Brien signature trophy, signature platinum bar cards that spotlight players who won a trophy, obviously. So, yeah, exciting stuff. You know, how many cases of this? I think I'm going to get a couple, 3.
So you're going to charge us how much money, and you can't even give us a card number 7?
Yeah.
So that's fun.
So I wonder who it was.
Kobe.
Well,
Oh,
Mickey Mantle?
Mickey Mantle. Yeah. So make sure you check out Ryan Cracknell's articles on Beckett.com/news for more details on all these new releases. Next week's release is 2020 Panini Playbook Football and 2021 Upper Deck Artifacts Hockey comes out.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. A little slow week next week. So, and then we got Topps Ass coming out soon, guys.
Flagship's coming out next month, boys.
Yeah, I think I have a case coming. So I wasn't going to do it, but I think I'm going to do it. Infield Chatter, a Hobby Talk section part of the show. Build that PC at B_hint1322 on Twitter. I loved it. Said, tweet out, 2020 was a wild year, but the hobby was even wilder. I took advantage of the modern prices and sold some big stuff off and was able to add some absolute bucket list cards. All Hall of Famers, rookies I never thought I would get a chance to own and look at whenever I want.
A PSA 154 tops Henry Aaron, 52 tops Ed Matthews, PR1 PSA. A Michael Jordan 86 clear, VG3, 49 Bowman Jackie Robinson, PR1, a 51 true rookie Mickey Mantle, PR1, a 51 Bowman as well, Willie Mays, 1.5, and a 49 Bowman Satch Page, PR1, all PSA graded.
I mean, it does. I don't care about the grades on the cards.
No.
you have those just sitting all together, and all those guys, like John Madden said, thinking of all the heads talking in the hall, in a NFL Hall of Fame, all the bus talking to each other, and these cards all hanging out together. These are only cards that you could see in online or in a magazine or at the card shop, right? Not just to be able to flip through your own collection and look at.
And it's pretty amazing seeing them all back to back to back to back. It's just, sure, again, some of them look better than ones and 1.5s, but to have them protected like that and have all of the true rookies, it's amazing feat.
What do we estimate that lot of 7 cards would go for?
I have no clue.
I would think the mantle could probably be had for $2 to $3 grand, probably. Maze for half that. I think
probably all of these outside of Jordan. 10, 20?
Yeah, I would think probably about 8 or so, 7, 8 on everything outside the Jordan. The Jordan's going to be the catch. I don't know what a 3 would go for. Probably about 15 grand, I would say, for everything there.
So,
What?
I don't know if you guys saw. One of the auction houses is auctioning off a game signed, or not game signed, but a triple signed baseball, era appropriate, signed by Babe Ruth, all authenticated, mind you. Signed by Babe Ruth, signed by Hank Aaron, signed by Barry Bonds.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
What do they know? What years? It'd be interesting to know what year specifically Barry Bonds signed it.
I think the estimate they put on was 10 to 20 itself.
Yeah,
I bet Bond signed it first, right, and then Ruth.
Yeah, well, definitely, because I heard that Bonds wouldn't sign anything that Ruth had already signed. Yeah, it's weird.
Printing plates. Our buddy Daniel Tillo, DT40 on Twitter. Boom, got all 4 printing plates of me. The rest are getting Slab by PSA cards. So pumped. So remember, we had Daniel on. He's a minor leaguer with the Royals, and he's on the 40-man roster this year. He's coming back from some Tommy John, so we wish him the best. And he's probably going to be stronger now because now he's on the Tommy John. But he has all of his Bowman First printing plates.
Yeah, I had responded right there, right underneath his post, and it's like, we talk all the time about cards going to the right home and finding that right home, and obviously we have our team and player loyalties, and you can say what you want about those cards going to the right home when it's us, but I was like, literally, these cards are home. I mean, I could have every McGuire known to man, and you could say, well, yeah, they're home with the right collector, but no, there's other McGuire collectors out there. I mean, this is the perfect home for these cards. That's so awesome. Not for him just to get 1 or 2, but for him to get the entire group of 4 is awesome.
Yeah. That's super cool. He didn't. I believe he said he didn't have autographs in that product. So this is going to be the chase card, and then maybe build the rainbow, right? To do that. So I love seeing that. I love when players get into collecting and they start to kind of collect a little bit of their own stuff, and it's cool when they get as excited as we do when we get something out of the PC. I love this. Now, this came out Thursday, so it didn't make our show, but we're stealing from Watch the Breaks here. He asked, what was the card of 2020? And his 4 choices were awesome. The Dr. Fauci Tops Now. The Andrew McCutcheon SP, where he was all 1970s out. The Griffey Shore, which changed Project 2020 altogether. Or the John Morant Luminance dunk card that came out in Chronicles, where he's doing the crazy dunk. There were 1,499 votes, and the Griffey Shore won, and by like 6%, like 5.5%. Fauci came in second, followed up by the Jaw, and then McCutch came in last. I voted for the Griffey Shore just because it changed the whole landscape of Project 2020, and everybody had hopped in, and it took some people out of the hobby. Like it did. It crushed some people in the hobby that have been around for years. And we're always going to look back on that card, and either have fond memories of it, laugh about it, or there'll be some sad times, some drinking around that seeing that card again. So,
are we going to be talking about Ryan Cracknell's article about the top 20 cards from this past year?
Not tonight.
Okay, so he mentioned the McCutcheon. That's why I was going to reference it. That McCutcheon is epic. It's a beautiful card. It's a fun card. The John Morant's whatever, right? I mean, to me, there's it's a cool card, but nothing impressive. Dr. Fauci's card to me was seriously, but it really does epitomize and wrap 2020 up in a box with a ribbon on top. But so I mean, to me, it came down to either the Fauci or the Keith Shore Griffey. I chose the Griffey too, just because to me it kind of symbolizes what happens in this hobby all the time. That FOMO, that oh my gosh, now's the time that we all have to buy such and such card because there's so much money to be made, and the difference between us all buying the hot rookie card versus this is a print to demand, so they had made twice as many sold.
Yeah.
And it just Project 2020, the over under on how many people it put into bankruptcy, I would love to be able to run analytics on that.
Or just see like how many people is crushed out of the hobby altogether, though.
Yeah, it had to be a few dozen at the very least.
Yeah. My question is, and I saw this, the Leaf put out their coronavirus card, but then the tweets disappeared, and then I couldn't find any way to get it. But that's just so Leaf, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've had Brian on the show, and he seems like a very passionate member of the hobby. He seems like a decent enough guy, but you had a Carol Baskin card, and now you have literally not a Dr. Fauci card, which I can at least respect on some level, but you literally had a picture of the virus. And people are going to go out there and spend hard-earned money on that. You want to be taken seriously, this is the kind of crap you got to knock off. This is just a money grab. If you want to do something like this with a COVID-19 spin on it, cool. Have a 10-card, 20-card, 30-card set of the heroes, and have the doctors and the scientists and the people that are, Moderna and Pfizer, and do something along those lines. And I think you'll get a lot more respect than this crap.
Yeah. No, it's embarrassing.
It really is. And maybe that's why they took it down, and hopefully they pulled it and refunded everybody their money, because the hobby doesn't need something like that. I mean, people's family members literally have died from the disease.
Well, that's like, there was a senator that was talking about, she was doing something in a park, like a rally in a park recently, and she said something, well, Hitler had it right. It's like, no, you can say a lot of things, you can say and do a lot of crazy shit in America, but never say that line and then follow it up with something and think it's okay,
and then justify and double down.
Yeah.
What I meant to say was, when I was right the first time and you guys didn't like it, so let me go ahead and back the truck up and run over the spike strip again.
It's like, put this card out. It's like, and I don't know, this card, by the way, I just looked over, this card was staring at me, and now I feel like Austin Matthews is going to come murder me in my sleep.
Is that not, you're going to fall in love with those dreamy bedroom eyes?
I mean, hold on though. Is that just
it's not the best photo?
Like, look at this. Like, it looks like he's doing Life and Leavenworth or something.
Well, and it doesn't help that he's got like the French retreating from war hairline going on.
Minnesota in the red zone.
Indeed, not the best look.
Yeah.
It's what it
Quick,
is.
I didn't even put this in notes, but I'm going to talk the playoffs. The Browns finally make the playoffs in 17 years, and then their coach and their their Pro Bowl guard are out. No, why? Okay, why is the coach out? He just can't go sit in a booth somewhere and coach the team from the booth by himself. Like they can't just put him like in a bubble, let him walk around and go.
Don't they have like those robots where you can slap an iPad to it and
he can just like Phil on Modern Family where he was,
Yeah, there's plenty of ways for, he can be in somebody's head through an earpiece.
Anyway, who's your real quick Super Bowl picks? I know it's off the cuff. I didn't even put it in the notes. Who's your Super Bowl picks?
I honestly couldn't tell you who's in.
Yeah, right now I'd say the Packers. Maybe that's just the green and gold, and a good buddy of mine who's no longer with us. He was a big Packer fan.
Whoa.
Wrong button.
I did not mute you.
I was trying to switch back tabs. We're good.
I'm going to root hard for the Titans. I would love to see them knock off the Chiefs and love their rivalry going with outside their division with the Ravens right now. So
yeah,
it'd be kind of fun to see.
No, I think it's Chiefs Packers, man. I think that's where we're going to be.
Probably.
I want to see I love the Colts, but Philip Rivers is the quarterback, so he's going to throw a dumb interception that's going to in the season. So
there's a difference between your rooting interest and your
logical.
It's like Raider fans every year. 16-0 Super Bowl, baby. It's like this team's 5-11 at best. What gives you the okay?
Yeah. They were lucky to be 8-8 this year. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the Washington football team sure would be fun to have a generic team name, and it's so 2020 of the world. A lot of good storylines. Kevin Jones says the Bucks. Obviously, Brady and Antonio Brown. That would definitely be a circus to say the least. Come Super Bowl week,
Gronk,
yeah. Lot of interesting storylines.
No, because little Breeze can't make it happen. He's done. Yeah. Breeze is he's I've been saying it the last couple of years. It just doesn't have it. So
how about Rams Steelers?
Rams have a serious problem at quarterback right now, and that's why. I don't know that the Steelers get past the Browns this week.
No, I don't think so either. I think their offense is pitiful.
Yeah, I think
we'll see.
They're like
we just know that the Vikings aren't winning it.
That's any year.
So Vikings Raiders is not going to happen this year again. Okay.
Vikings Bills.
Bills would be fun. Josh Allen on the Stephon Diggs. Hey, you have a Viking kind of sorta.
Stefanski. He plays with the Browns. Well, not currently.
Doesn't play with them.
I mean, you took the L in Georgia this week. Your family did, so.
Again, for like
no relation.
18th time, they're not related. I wish they're not.
Allegedly. Why do you wish?
Because they have a lot of money.
So that doesn't mean he gets it.
No. That's a lot of Twins cards I could have had. Inheritance.
Maybe no. So you're assuming that her income becomes your income.
Indeed.
Yeah. That's not how that works.
Well, Kevin says that
to the Bancherville, unfortunately.
Kevin says Browns beat Steelers book. I'm going to call my bookie right now, guys. I'll be right back.
I would love that. I mean, I'm not. I can't stand the Steelers.
Yeah.
To me, they're right up there with the Cowboys and the Lakers and the Yankees.
Well, and all the exploits that Big Ben had up here in Lake Tahoe a couple years ago, a couple different times.
Allegedly.
Maybe.
Speaking of championships, I don't know if you guys saw, and I know I gave plenty of crap to my coworkers in Edmonton and the like. Team USA took down Team Canada in the World Junior Championship.
And just for those that don't know hockey, someone equated this to Mexico beating the United States in football.
So,
which I thought was pretty spot on.
Some stats here. In the tournament, Canada had never played behind. They'd always had the lead. They outscored opponents something like 46-4. Won all 6 games, obviously, and then get shut out 2-0 to the United States.
You believe? That's awesome. You know what else is awesome? More Sapphire. We need more Sapphire in our lives, guys. So this comes from our buddy Ivan. Watch the breaks. So there was some sort of pre-allocation I missed for Bowman Draft Sapphire. It looks like it's out. I don't know where it was being distributed, but Cheap Friend Break said the link is already out from some bot accounts. They had it long enough to wipe them out, I imagine. I DM tops the info. So I didn't see that was like if it was a Montgomery, release.
Supposed to be, yeah.
And what happened, but it sounds like the bots hopped into it, and who knows what's going to happen. But this was, I think, the original Sapphire that came out a couple years ago, and they now just keep bastardizing that name and that brand like they have with Transcendent and Mega Boxes and so forth. So, I don't believe it talks of any autograph cards, and there weren't any last year in this release. And those boxes originally sold, you bought from Topps for like $30, and they got to $100, and I think they're a few $100 at this point. But you were just getting, Sapphire cards of, I don't know. So
I had tweeted out after I saw this, and I had said, we don't need Sapphire everything. It's just bastardizing the product. And Ryan Cracknell was one to say, well, we had it last year. A couple of people said that. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter if we had it last year. It doesn't mean you have to bring it back again this year. And then I have a few people like Chris Harris point out that, it's all a bastardization of Topps Chrome, which is a bastardization of Flagship. And, we've been on this for a long time. You don't need Chrome everything. You don't now need Sapphire everything. You Topps Rip took the Allen and Ginter Rip cards and made a whole product of it. And in hand, these are great cards. I thought the minis were phenomenal in hand. They're fun to collect as a team collector, but it's just a product when I have it in hand and I look at it and say, this is not necessary. You took a good idea that was isolated to one very large release every year in Allen and Ginter, and then you made this, and then you had Ginter Chrome and stuff, and it's like you're going to start making Sapphire of everything. Whether you had it last year or not is irrelevant. You don't have to bring it back year after year, because what happens is, it's like that first bite of food tastes so good because it touches your tongue and your palate, and it starts to get your mouth watering for it. But after the 10th bite, it's no longer as good anymore. At some point, you have so much of the Sapphire that it's just like, cool. You're going to come up with Sapphire for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. If I don't catch this, I'll, again, going back to the bus analogy, I missed the first bus, another one will be along shortly. If I don't collect Sapphire this, then another one will come back. And at what point do we have enough? And I get it, as it's been illustrated to me by Ryan and a few others, this is how Topps gets around that workaround of I can only make so many releases per year. This is not a independent release. This is a parallel release. Mm-hmm. And that's how they can make an additional Bowman product out of this.
Which is where Rich earlier in the chat had mentioned Project 2021 Sapphire, and I tacked on Chrome Sapphire because why not? Online only release.
Yeah, and Chrome Sapphire Signature Series.
Ginter. As Foul 5 said, Sapphire Ginter.
X, Y, Z,
Ben
ASS.
Baller. Hey, Ben, I'm going to show about this because I don't know where you found it, but you sent us a new site called harpoon.site.
I was in a Facebook group.
Sell cards.
I was in a Facebook group.
Facebook.
We've been trying to keep you off of there.
Dude, that's where we get our best content. It's hilarious. This shit there's a guy that literally just posted that I mentioned earlier on Twitter. No matter what you say to this guy, he says, thanks, I'll think about it. It's like, are you ever going to make a sale? But earlier, just now, he posted a bunch of old Junk Wax era. He's like, hey, guys, anybody interested in these? $2 to $10 per card. It's like, what year do you think this is? But anyway, that's why I stay on Facebook. Somebody was there bitching about eBay fees and whatnot, and said basically what all of us would like is, what are alternatives? Obviously, we know you can buy cards through Beckett Marketplace, ComC. sport lots. There are alternatives, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, obviously Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. There are a lot of alternatives with varying levels of cost associated, just like eBay. But that somebody dropped that in the thing, and I clicked on it, and the first thing I see is a Leonard Fournette card and a Christian Ponder card, and I'm like, oh, they're listing the big boys.
So, dude, someone on Twitter listed Darius Geis rookie cards for sale today for like $1. I'm like, he's not in the league. He couldn't even be on the football team with all of the injuries and then the allegations against him, and it's like,
yeah, and that I don't know. I haven't done any research on this. I messaged you guys and said, hey, have you heard of this?
I just tried to look George Brett up on it, and there are no George Brett, so it's a worthless site.
You remember the old? To me, this reeks of Collector Revolution. Do you guys remember that website?
Oh, yeah. It lasted all of what, like 6 months?
Yeah, super easy to list cards. The fees were great. It was just one of those ones where, I'd go on there as a buyer, and it's like, you have nothing for me,
Yeah, I bought from somebody a whole bunch of. I brought like 1,000 George Bretts for like $40
off of there.
Mm-hmm. It was the one purchase I ever made.
Yeah, I made 1 or 2 sales. It was super easy, and I don't know where the guy ever went. I'd love to be able to pick his brain and find out what happened if the e-commerce side of it didn't work out. Obviously, the fee structure. One of my questions to our buddy Philly Puck fan James Kikowski was, what about a liability shield with this? Because you have buyers and sellers. If Steph and I are exchanging money for goods, there's got to be a governing body that kind of oversees this, that mediates that transaction. I'm sure there's some legalities with this. James didn't get back to me specifically. I might call him on this and find out what's going on.
Yep.
Just it'd be curious to know if you wanted to create a site. But then the other thing too is the name's just dumb. It doesn't.
It sounds like they already had the website. They already own the name, and then they just kind of changed course.
I even had that great comment about, it already looks like you're trying to, harpoon me as a buyer, right? Like you're trying to. It just reeks of. I don't want to use the word scam, but it's just kind of scummy to me. Maybe it's a great website ran by great people, but it's just like that other.
Speaking of which, questionable. I don't even know how to say this guy's name on Twitter. It's AVZQZ1288. What did I just read? There was a gentleman that on eBay has posted a picture of a 2017 Donruss rated rookie Pat Mahomes PSA 9, and it says read description, fund my collection, $100 plus free shipping. The description says you are not buying a card. This is a fun page. I was told people would be willing to help me out here. I essentially get 5 people to pitch in $100 each. Then I use that money to buy this card off someone else. I'm trying to grow my collection and become part of this amazing community. And you best believe that as soon as people help me out, I'll be paying it forward in a big way. How you don't have any money right now, bro? Due to the nature of what you're buying, I will not be able to accept returns, especially if all 5 spots sell at the same time. Essentially, once I sell one spot, I will go ahead and buy myself this card, and if you have to cancel, that means I have to cancel on someone else. So everyone's day is ruined then. I can't accept returns for any reason. This ranges from you thinking you're buying the actual card to you or a family member accidentally purchasing it. And by buying this, you have agreed to these terms. I do not want to take money from people who made a mistake, but at the same time, I just can't go ahead and cancel. Well, eBay will help you cancel real quick. But good God, our buddy Dub said, I've seen it all or something to that effect. Huh?
A plus for the cojones on this guy. I love it, man. I love it. F minus for the execution, because obviously, he's one flew over the cuckoo's nest on this one. But A+++ on the entertainment value and the readability and the fact that you could go. But I'm going to read this as a nighttime bedtime story to myself tonight because it was that good. I love how he qualifies it. First off, I'm going to pay it forward big time. Second off, don't cancel on me, because if you cancel on me, I'm going to have to cancel on somebody else. So, I mean, that's cue the sappy Full House music where Danny Tanner's about to give his kids, a lecture. It's just like, I will have to cancel on somebody else, and you don't want to do that. You don't want that on your conscience. Do you, Steph?
Nope.
Just give me $100.
Nah,
yeah. But this guy should have sold. This guy should have sold it. I had a great comment when I had retweeted this earlier. Somebody's like, you have to really sell why you and why this card. I need to know more about the card and what it's going to mean to you. And I need to know more about you if I'm going to invest my $100 bill in your friendship, because I'm assuming I'm going to be friends with you now.
I'm mystified, dude. Like, how? Like, who's like, maybe if it was 500 people gave you $1.
Yeah.
Not 5 people giving you $100.
So, I had mentioned this too in a conversation on Twitter in response to this. If one of you guys called me up and said, hey, look, I have an opportunity. Let's say Steph calls me up and says, I have an opportunity to get my hands on a pristine T206 Walter Johnson, but it's way out of my price range. But I'm going to reach out to I'm reaching out to both of you guys and a lot of our mutual friends. I just need $10 from each of you guys. And you guys are going to help me buy this super PC, once in a lifetime purchase card. But I would drop $10, right? Here's Steph. Here's $10. But A, I know him. And then B, it would be like, $10 is a lot easier to get out of somebody than $100. It just is. Most people wouldn't think twice. Like, here's $10. You don't have to pay me back. This is awesome.
Yeah,
This made my day.
No, it's only going to get better from here. But buy by bulk at Cherry Trees Cards. PSA removed the bulk order option. I wonder if this will speed up the process and reduce the turnaround time. One can only hope. So if you go to their site now, it doesn't allow you to do the bulk option.
This was at the time. It's been updated. I think one of PSA's execs had made a post. If you can see it, if he hasn't blocked you yet, essentially saying that, hey, this was a site glitch error. This should be resolved. And apparently now you can actually get it fixed. I'm looking to see. Maybe it was a actual reply to this. But this should be back. So it looks like they just
they probably got
their website.
Or someone said it was a smart idea, and then they got all the regulars got all pissed off and said
site glitch
never happened.
Yeah,
blame technology.
But it just gets better here. Our buddy, and I hope Ken's still here. Graded twice. He shared this morning at Beans B Card Blog. Dear at Beckett Grading, can you please explain how a superfractor can be graded twice? Once is an 8 and once is a 9.5. Asking for a friend. Yeah, it was a Juan Soto card. Let's see. I have the notes here somewhere.
Transcendent, the 52 tops design.
Autograph. And so originally, it when it was submitted the first time, the center was a 9.5, which then became a 10 on the second grading. The corner subgrade was 9.5, and it stayed. The surface subgrade was a 7 that got bumped to a 9.5. The edges were a 9.5 to a 9.5, and the final grade was an 8 to a 9.5. So the centering got a little better, and then the surface somehow got a whole lot better. So you're not telling me that this is not subjective?
Nope, not at all.
And then how do you grade a superfractor twice? How do you not have that in your set? There's only one of the cards. And actually,
question.
real quick, right before you ask, Brian Gray actually followed up on a tweet and said, I actually pulled this card myself in a break from Leighton Sports and immediately sold it to a gentleman for 4K or 4K plus. I bet it was sent in and misgraded, then sent in for regrading. Regardless, a pop listing like this is confusing. How is a card misgraded?
See, I thought it was a case. I thought it might have been a case where they submitted it, got the 9.5, resubmitted it, got the lower grade. But nope. It apparently got better with age, like wine.
Okay. I didn't see that. There's so much wrong with that tweet as far as I'm concerned. Brian Gray and Leighton are buddies. That's just enough for me. That makes my night. The other thing made
told you it was going to get good,
this
my
makes
friend.
my night. But I mean, let's not put it past Topps that there aren't two superfractors of the same card. Let's just throw that out there, that's a possibility and a probability, and a high one at that. But having said that, yeah, now that I've seen that tweet, how do you misgrade something? No, you don't. I mean,
so does that mean that all my other the few graded cards I have are all misgraded? They should all
it's
be
possible because now, if misgrading is a possibility, how can you argue again when we say it's a scam? How can you defend it when there are people out there that are literally saying the card was misgraded? That calls into question everything. Mic drop, walk off. This is worse than Oder punching Batista in his sheboggin.
Let's double down.
Yeah,
more fake slabs. So our buddy Sports Card Radio, Sports Card News tweeted out 4 more fake BGS slabs discovered, all being sold by Probstein 123. Oh my god, I told you it gets so much better. You have, first of all, misgrading, like maybe he misremembered like Roger Clemens.
Mm-hmm.
We have Brian Gray and Leighton, and we have BGS grading, and we have Probstein. There was a blowout post that says cross posting from recent posts and thread, but there's more. These were the original, and now there's Luca Reds that it's on a fake slab. So basically, what happens is there's not on the cereal on the bottom of the plastic, it's missing certain markings, and there's some other things too. The plastic is different. It's not the same. Some of the fonts are off and different. And so my thing is, it's like,
might be time to add something like PSA did a couple years back with the holofoil logo.
Yeah. I there's a bunch of cards in the list, and so there's links and stuff, but it's just, guys, again, we talked about the wait times last week. A 2-day wait time, or a 2-day submission is basically 2 full weeks. There was one that was 6. There was one that was 6 months. 6 months.
What in the world of toilet paper math is that? I mean, it's estimated that there are 2 million cards. PSA is 2 million cards behind. If that's even remotely accurate, how can they possibly A, catch up, and B, be accurate? I mean, you go back to Brian's point now on another thing. Yeah, they're misgrading cards because they're not spending any time on them. It's just an assembly line.
Well, yeah, and Beckett, these are about all these issues have been from Beckett, but it's the same thing. It's they're behind it. We know they're not paying these guys hundreds of thousands of dollars to grade these cards, right? And so it's, I can't see, and I can't justify. No, and John Goodman said, like, he posted something about him defending grading cards, right? And I asked him, I go, how do you defend the turnaround times? And he says, I can't. Right there, if you can't defend, how do you defend grading? First of all, that's the first step. How can they not honor the times they tell you? Like when you have a 2-day submission, to me, that's 2 business days. Then they tell you it's 5 to 10 business days. Well, then isn't that a 10 business day card, not a 2-day? Because it takes 10 days. I just don't get how people can accept that, and they just do, because guess what? I'm gonna get 3x more for this card because it has this on there. Or people that look at the back of a card, right, and it's got great edges and corners or whatever, and there might be like a small, like little tiny dot or line, and they're like, I'm not buying that card, or that card's trash, because it's like,
well,
you're missing the point of collecting.
And we just looked at that guy's collection of all of these 1s and 1.5s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the vintage grading scale, and Steph, correct me if I'm wrong, but the older you get, a 1952 Mickey Mantle 10 is not the same as a 2020 Topps flagship base 10. The older you get, that scale slides a little bit because of the age, the paper, cardboard. A mint 52 is what, like a 7, if I'm not mistaken? Is that considered mint? So anything, like if you're going based off of book value, I think a mint is like a 6 or a 7. Anything above that,
just released, sure, maybe.
Yeah, anything above that would be above book value. That's why you see, like, if you just went by print and book value at $4,500 for a card, why would one sell for $50,000? Well, it's because it's nicer than what's considered that mint threshold. And yeah, those cards are 1s and 1.5s. Probably not. They're probably nicer than that. And again, it's...
Here's their job listings. Maintain quality of the grading product and Beckett name. Maintain individual BGS grading production goals, i.e. work a bunch. Direct card experience as a professional grader, dealer, or collector is encouraged but not required. Okay, sure.
That's how you're grading this facsimile autographs.
In niche markets, so I can understand. There's only so many people going around. Skills required to be successful in the position. First-hand knowledge of trading cards. Why are you applying if you don't? Effective problem-solving skills. Okay.
This one's got a big corner. Pan.
Strong organizational skills to achieve grading goals and requirements, i.e. keep an 8-task. Fine, okay, sure. Ability to work in a positive team environment where you are constantly learning. Positive team? As crunched for time as they are? I don't know. Maybe they are. Detail-oriented and ability to focus over long stretches of time. Yes, pay attention to the cards to see whether they're actually legit or whether the signatures are legit. Happens all the time, guys. 1 to 3 years of direct grading experience as a professional dealer or collector is encouraged but not required. There's card verifier with similar descriptions, another grader.
I have a problem with constantly learning.
Hey, Steph, get in there and get a job and learn the grade, and then come tell us the secrets.
I can't for 2 years.
You're like going behind the scenes of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory for about the cards. Probably have to shave, though.
Investigative reporter.
So my problem is, if you're constantly learning, right? Are you not an expert? You're supposed to be an expert. I'm literally paying you for your expertise to give this card a perfect grade based on its overall condition. Doesn't mean the card's got to be perfect, of course. A 7's a 7 and a 10's a 10. But a 7 better be a 7 and a 10 better be a 10. And I'm giving you my money because it not only am I giving you this money up front, but it's supposed to increase the value on the back end, whether it's for personal consumption or resale value is irrelevant. So you better not continuously be learning to get better. You better be the best of the best. The problem is that's not possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Like relief pitchers or fourth line D guys that you can just pick off the waiver wire or something like that. There's only a finite resource of people that are actually knowledgeable enough about the sports plural, and with enough of a critical eye to be able to assess to whatever criteria they have.
Yeah, well, and they just lost 2 guys, and we're going to talk about this now. SGC's future. They have a sport certified collectibles group is going to launch their sports grading division next month. They hired former Beckett graders Andy Broom and Weston Reeves to head up the new sports card division. So automatically they took Andy, one of the better graders there, and another guy who was working there. So they lost 2 top guys, right? SGC says it will continue to. It says it will make use of artificial intelligence to automate many of the more time-consuming aspects of grading, such as measuring and centering and attribution. SGC graders will be equipped with forensic devices that reveal alterations and hidden details through infrared and UV lighting, ultramicroscope inspections, and non-destructive ink and paper analysis. The SGC holder and labels include a detailed description of the card, its grade, its unique SGC certification number, and a QR code to facilitate verification. SGC says its holder and label feature extensive security elements to prevent against tampering and counterfeiting. Their grading fees range from $8 for bulk submissions of 50 cards or more to $15 for a 15-day express service and $100 for a 5-day walkthrough service. There are also higher tiers for exceptionally high-value cards. Subgrades can be added in for an extra fee of $10 per card. So you're looking at if you're looking to do subgrades, base in bulk submission, you're looking at $18 a card. So guess what that does? That means that the card's got to be at least worth $18 to you to sell graded. So hopefully we'll get some of this other shit that's not worth grading, not graded anymore.
And they can't grade Bowman paper.
So real quick, going back to the classified ad, there's something. I would like to think the three of us have a certain level of expertise within the hobby and definitely have levels of experience. But I wouldn't say any of the three of us are qualified to be graders. Steph might be the closest because of what he does for a living. But
detail centering. People say, well, this is poor centering. I mean, outside of like the most blatant miscut issues, like
the JJ Watt card I posted on Twitter today. Yeah, that's not a 10. 9.5 on centering.
Like it was like this. Like I'm centered right now.
It really was. It was a lot of dead space to the side. But my thoughts are this, right? If you bought PSA and you needed graders, you don't post on Indeed, right? You're not on the ZipRecruiter, right? You're literally calling up somebody like Shep. Hey, I need you to come work for me because I consider you an expert. And, this is where headhunters are going to go out and find people that they know. I mean, there's only a select few people that would be considered quote unquote experts anyway. But I don't want random classified people responding to me, like it's like a Craigslist ad. Come on now. Okay. I'm going to go out and headhunt.
I'm telling you.
I'll go out and headhunt experts. By the way, that is not, I posted that. I borrowed that picture from Facebook. That is not my feet. That is not my hands. That's not my knife.
Yeah, I was going to ask, it's bad enough you got the.
What's with the knife by the top?
He's sitting in front of a cabinet. He's sitting in front of a cabinet with a knife, bare feet, and a JJ Watt that at best is a 90-10 centering.
It's more of like 105 and -5.
Dude, those are coordinates for the Big Dipper in the sky, man. Those are longitude and latitude, man. That's just good lord, man.
I mean, there's like a good part of another card on there. And by the way, that comes from Panini Prism, which, by the way, I didn't even put this in the notes. James, our buddy Good James, Big Game James, tweeted out again that he's opened 10 different hobby boxes from different cases of Prism football, and he's had 2 now with completely crushed cards, just with smashed corners throughout the entire box. He's had two out of 10 boxes from different cases come that way. So, I mean,
and just while we got this JJ Watt card, the guy holding it. So it's not going to get a 10, of course, not because of the centering, but because he's probably going to ding the corners with how he's holding the card.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, I can't believe the knife. I mean, that's the best part, right by the feet. I didn't even see that earlier.
What's funny is I didn't either. I posted this like, hey, the hashtag the blank you see on Facebook, the blank you see on eBay, right? And I posted this, and somebody's like, "Dude, what's up with your knife?" And I'm like, "Huh? Okay, it's not my picture, but I go back and look at it. I'm like, all right, let's dissect this. He's literally sitting in front of a cabinet, like staring at a cabinet, and he's got his legs spread. He's holding up this card with a knife and bare feet and his gray sweatpants. It's like,
whenever I post now pictures, I'll make sure like I've cropped them correctly and there's nothing weird in the background, just because no matter what it could be, people are going to say something about it. So
I always make sure my feet aren't in the picture, because there's oftentimes when I go to take a picture and like my socks are showing, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to get blasted on Twitter for being a dum-dum.
Boxers or singles at V_T, or good Lord, guys. At T_V guy.
That's what I was going to say, was that I guess now I'm ready to post pictures.
Yeah. You just got to put it on
Kmart.
Yeah, you got to throw it at your feet. Just toss it over there by your Whataburger garbage from tonight's dinner.
I gotta fuck you very much.
You tossed the salad in it? Oh, wait. Do you still buy packs or boxes, or have you moved away from that and on to purchasing just singles of players off sites like Twitter and eBay? There's 103 votes. Still buy boxes. It was 54%, and moved to singles is 15%. I have a feeling that's going to start to kind of go. I'm sorry, 54%. I can't read 54%. I have a feeling that's going to flip flop by the end of the year. With the way prices of prices and packs are going, you buy an $8 pack of 4 cards, and you don't get anything that's going to go to your PC or for your team or whatever. You're better off taking that $8 and going and buying exactly what you want, even if you have to wait to get another $8 to buy the exact card you want. I'm telling you, wait for the extra $8.
Yeah. I would some 2020 Topps Heritage, but Topps Heritage High, but I think I'll just end up picking up the team set.
Yeah. I would like to think I was probably one of the trailblazers on collecting the way I collect, where, you just buy the singles and stop opening up, sealed product. And I think, for me, I was more of a unicorn in the sense that it was just because, as much as I like opening product too, it just didn't do enough for my PC to warrant that cost. But a lot of it was a personal decision. And I think as the last few years have went on and continue, I think it's getting away from now it's hard to find the product, especially, of course, at retail, which has been discussed ad nauseum, but also now just that associated cost, where why would I go out and spend hundreds of dollars on the unknown when I can pull back? I spent $80 last night on 3 cards from Transcendent. It was the sketch reproductions of Canseco, Henderson, and Eckersley. I could have bought a box of Elite Extra Edition for an extra $20 and pulled what? Right? That's a personal choice. But now the products are getting to be $30,000, and you don't even get a card number 7 in it. That's ridiculous. And it's, I think now people are going to start shifting how they collect and get closer to how I collect, not because of that personal choice, but just out of the way it is now. I think that's how the hobby has shifted.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, like, I put out my hobby goals today, and I know it's the 6th, but whatever. I wanted to really I was going to pick 5 things to really do. And one was build the 70s through 76 top sets. And, on some of them, I'm pretty close. On some of them, I'm like not close at all. I might have a few hundred. And some of those years, the high numbers are ridiculous to find, no matter what condition or player, whoever. And so I put it.
Come to mind.
Yeah. And I've been selling basketball cards like the last 10 days or so and doing really well with it, because it's like, okay, these are sitting in a box behind me. But God, I'd much rather have these 70 singles. And I got some Heritage High number tonight that I was like, will I open it? No. I think I'd rather sell it to go buy more of these 1970s tops or George Brett singles. Just because, to me, it's, at the end of the day, it's so much fun to open packs. Don't get me wrong. It's more rewarding, though, to complete something you're working towards. Now, In the old days, you could do that and not buy boxes. We could go buy a blaster for $20 and not feel too terrible about doing it. But now you can't find the blaster, or it's not $20 anymore because someone swiped them all out. And I don't blame anybody for doing that, but I'm just saying that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
It just
real quick though, Tim. Word of advice: if you're completing the 76 set, 76 tops is over here, okay, and SSPC so much better than tops. 76 SSPC, much better set. So if you're going to be collecting some of that mid 70s stuff, do not knock that off your checklist. Put it on your checklist. I don't know how hard it would be to complete that set if you can get a partial, but if you're doing the mid 70s stuff, you got to grab that particular set as well because it's a beauty.
Thanks, Steph closed the wrong window. Yeah, because I have the Brett from that set, and then there's a Brett and Al Cowan's.
Yeah, that's a great card too, and Cowan's last name is spelled wrong.
Yeah.
I learned that from our buddy Greg Gay at Night Out Cards, who did I spent yesterday in my spare time reading over his stuff that he did 3 years ago. It was a review of the top 100 cards from the 70s. If you get a chance, go over to his blog. He's starting to do the 80s now, but that card was mentioned on there. And it's not, the Yount from 75, the Brett from 75, the Ozzie Smith rookie. There's a lot of rookies on there, but it's predominantly just cool cards. And the stories behind them, some of the information he provides is fascinating.
Got a link coming up right there.
Well, you brought up an interesting point. I think 2 weeks ago on Twitter. We just haven't gone to it on the show. How many times a day do you look your main PC up on eBay, ComC, Sport Lots? There were 90 votes, and it was 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 plus. The winner was 1 to 3 at 62%, but 10 plus got 14.4%. 4 to 6 got 20%, and 7 to 9 got 3%. I can't believe that 10 plus got 14%. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Where were you on that, Ben? So, and Steph, you didn't even vote. You didn't even vote on Ben's on.
Wow. I swore I did. I must have done it on the show account.
Somebody asked me a follow up to this. Do each of those count as one? And for me, the way I looked at it is if you're on eBay and then you go to ComC and then you go to Sport Lots, that's 3 separate times because you're looking at different websites with the intent to add something to your PC. I'm way over 10 plus. I'll look at McGuire and multiple spellings thereof. I'll look up current year McGuire. I'll look up 2019 McGuire. I'll look up 87, 85 McGuire multiple times a day. So I probably look up just him 20 to 30 times a day. And then I'll look up all of the other A's that are currently in like the 2020. Like I'll look up Luzardo, Murphy, Puck, usually once a day. So again, but that's still a main PC because I'm still looking to add their cards as well. So if I count all of that as my main PC, then I'm probably in the 40-50 range.
So
I'm probably like the 7 or 9 because you count the different stops. I check ComC and Sport Lots once a day, and then eBay a couple of times, just depending on what I'm doing. So,
which is where my question was. Well, one, where's the 0 poll? But I have a constant feed that gives me a little notification saying, "Bloop, you have a new result," and it links straight to the postings
nice.
For our site and eBay.
Aren't you smart? I don't know. 100K really. Recently retired. Phil Hughes on Twitter said, gave up way too much for this, but I needed to have it. It's an 1819 Prism Select. It's a 1819 Select Prism Luca. It's a Zebra Prism. And he said he spent roughly 100K on it. He also tweeted out a picture earlier of a Mahomes, 2017 Mahomes silver rookie, and I don't know what the card was, but there was somebody else. So, yeah, it's a few bucks, right?
Yeah, more than any of us are going to spend. Prism, silver Mahomes, the Luca, and then the 98 finest with coating, Kobe.
Any of you guys see that ESPN 30 for 30 documentary on retired athletes called Broke?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what though? I was looking like he made like 100 million or something in his career.
But that's before taxes and before agent fees and before this.
No,
and that.
But
I know.
that's also before
6
endorsements
houses
and
and
everything else that can add to that.
Yeah, I've got 11 cars. yeah. I mean, money is much more fluid than raw numbers, and
I know, but like
I don't know
for
what
that Luka
portfolio looks like, but how many of those cards can you drop money on before? And again, maybe he's done very well in post retirement, and now with Phil's pulls, maybe he's doing very well. Sponsors, I don't know, but hey, it's his money.
Contract and Baseball Reference, 80 million.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
You have to think that's got to drop down to probably 45-ish after taxes. 3% to your agent. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, my buddy here says the Tiger doc is coming out this weekend. So if you have any Tiger cards,
that's why his rookie cards have been selling, or some of his cards have been selling at stupid prices recently.
And why I've been seeing his card posted all over Twitter left and right.
Yeah.
Just this hobby cracks me up.
But it's like shooting, like I told somebody, it's like shooting fish on a barrel sometimes, right?
It really is. I mean, Marvin Bagley's having a really good game tonight against the Bulls. So if you've got Marvin Bagley cards, start putting them up on eBay tonight.
I have a ton. Maybe I should.
They're going to sell by morning, my friend.
I have a whole bunch.
Yeah, he's like, last I saw
Guys,
him,
I have to go. I'm sorry.
He was at 19 and 11, 19 and 11 a few minutes back. So,
yeah. If speaking of historically bad teams, if you were to pick a historically terrible sports franchise to be a current fan of that you're not currently a fan of, what would that team be?
So, and the reason you added that clarifier is that I had added the Timberwolves, and I'm not a fan of them. I'm really not. I don't follow basketball at all. Outside of the Lynx. Hey, they're successful. 4 titles in a decade.
That's the only Minnesota titles you're ever going to celebrate.
But no, outside of their specification of favorites, the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I know suffering with my Vikings and quarterbacks in particular, and wifey being a fan, quote unquote. There's a lot of shared hate there. A lot of alcoholism.
And so Ben, what would be your team? I thought you had some nice choices to bring up.
Yeah, no, I mean we were talking about the Browns and the Lions and the Timberwolves and the Mariners, and we threw a few teams out there that are just always bad, that may have had a few years here or there. But honestly, by birth I should, born and raised in Sacramento, I should be a Sacramento Kings fan, and I didn't find basketball till the early 90s, and I became a Spurs fan before they really started having a lot of success. But yeah, I mean, the Kings have been historically bad for a long time, and it'd be great if De'Aaron Fox and Halliburton and Bagley and some of their other young players develop together and at least become a consistent perennial playoff team. So maybe that's a homer pick, maybe that's a cop out, but we were talking about just the energy and excitement. I mean, we really are a one horse city here. We really don't have anything else until you get to the Bay Area, which is 90 minutes away from where we live. It'd be great for the Kings to be good again. So
hey, we have the River Cats.
Do you though?
Yeah. I like the Browns pick. Also, too, like the Bills were brought up when we were talking earlier. No, it just was one of those things. Like you think about it, and it's like there was some just really like. We talk about the Wizards and basketball. I mean, think about that. Like, I mean, they won a championship. But nobody really alive today. Like, I don't know, but it's a Washington Wizards fan. Like,
outside of the Jordan guys, and even then, they stopped paying attention in 04, 05.
And then you look and it's like who really is a Clipper fan? Like who was a Clipper fan when they had Benoit Benjamin at center? And then nobody can tell you any of the Clippers before Kawhi or George.
Danny Manning.
Blake Griffin.
Danny Manning.
There you go. Blake. When they had Blake Griffin, it's just I don't know.
Name another.
Who Richardson?
Who Richardson? Stanley Roberts, Loy Vaught, Gary Grant.
There was that one guy.
Joe Wolf. He was a.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even try. There was a couple that came through when I had the coffee shop, and
Lamar Odom.
One of the greatest
Darius
days of my
Miles.
life. Look at you. You are officially a Clippers fan.
Yeah, that's because I'm a big nerd. Olowokandi. Yeah, Michael Olowokandi from UOP. Thanks, Murph, for the assist. The only time you've ever passed the ball. Yep. So there's a bunch to pick from, but yeah, I just kind of brought it up because when the Kings are just been beaten down so much, so I'm hoping for a good season. Guys, if you were in charge of making the 2021 year-long release for Topps, similar to Project 2020, what would it look like, Ben? What would your set look like if it was a year-long thing like Project 2020?
Yeah, the first thing that I would make it as affordable for people of all budgets. This whole $20 per card, multiple cards released per week thing is just to me already said, I don't want your money to so many collectors. I know maybe the art was whatever. Make it affordable. And the main thing I think would be, I was having this conversation with my dad before the show, how Throwback Thursday is such an unbalanced checklist. And running the numbers in 2018, there were like no San Francisco Giants. So you're literally telling Giants fans, we don't want your money with this particular program. So I'd make sure it's a balanced checklist so that fans of all teams can be involved from a consumer standpoint. Whether they choose to be or not, it's different. But it can't just be Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, crap, top heavy with Harper and Trout.
A rant I've done at the National.
Yeah, it's just like you have to have some balance. And if you're going to do a year-long set, I mean, Project 2020 was great, but there was 2 A's, and there were 3 Yankees, and there were 2 Mets. And so you already don't have enough teams to go around with only 20 cards, and you start doubling up on teams. Now all of a sudden,
So he doesn't have a bad idea. I would love to see a 30-team, 21 release. Sure, why not? And because this is presumably a Topps release, maybe tack in relics, autos, and call it Topps Chrome Project 2020 Sapphire X artist's name here.
Why not have them all? You can have parallels of everybody.
But if you buy a base one, you're not getting a base card. You're getting the parallel only.
Mm-hmm.
Ginter.
And we're going to change it. We're going to change it midway through the program too. Like half the year, we're just going to go from 3 cards to 6 cards a day, down to 2 cards a day, and we're not even going to tell you why.
Just because.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my idea was I thought kind of interesting. It was a 3-card pack that would release. Every team would be included. You would have 27 cards by the end of the year. So basically, your team would have basically the opening 25-man roster. You'd have a manager card and then some kind of a team card, whether it was a logo or it was a team picture, mascot, something to do with the team. So it would fit in pages perfectly for all of us nerds. But then there's 3 cards a day, and it would be like $10, and then that way if you wanted to buy, and it would be again kind of like Living where it's print to order, but it would be a daily thing throughout the entire baseball season.
So Topps Living and Topps Total, just kind of a better version.
Yeah.
Tack on an extra 9 per team, make it in 5 pages there, and give 9 veterans.
You do that, something like that. But I just thought it'd be something, and then you could that way it's like, hey, this is the team that was out there this year, and these are the guys, and
it's almost like Topps Total.
Yeah, but again, it would be. But I would want to have it with some, like, maybe add some art to it.
Sure.
Because I think total, because it comes in packs, like, so you don't know who you're going to get. Like, every day you'd be able to. So if you had a player, like you had players on different, you'd buy the 3 Tom, and then maybe you sell the other 2 or trade whatever it would. But I don't know, something fun.
Going kind of on both your guys' idea. I don't know how difficult it would be to integrate this, but to Steph's idea about having like retired players, if you could integrate a way to where the collectors could vote on it, right? Mm-hmm. So just speaking as an A's fan, as a catcher, you'd have Gene Tennis, you'd have Terry Steinbach, you'd have Ramon Hernandez, and you'd have Kurt Suzuki to choose from. And whichever guy wins, he becomes the catcher, first base. Obviously, you have, possibly Joe Rudy and Mark McGwire if you wanted to go all the way back, to the Philadelphia, Kansas City teams. You could do that as well. Something like that too. That might be a little tricky just with timing of everything and when you'd roll those out. But maybe if it was one of those ones where once all the votes are in, you could buy your team set as kind of a booster of the 9 cards that are released in October to kind of supplement everything that was released throughout the year. Voting closes at August 1st, which would give them enough time to calculate the votes and produce, kind of a fun set.
Yeah.
So as a follow-up to that, I don't know if you guys saw this, 1951 Topps by Blake Jameson. Added again, bringing his signature style to our original 1951 Topps set. First of 4 waves launches next week on January 13th. Collectors can look out for limited chase cards, limited chase and artist card. There we go. Only at Topps.com. Pictures of him working in his studio. You got some cards to paint there, as well as some cards in progress.
They're just going to. It is, but they're just gonna overwhelm collectors to the point where we're just gonna collectively, one by one, start reducing our hobby thumbprint. I think.
I like Blake. I think that's cool. It's a good looking card. I just think it's where's it? Ben, you had something you brought to us that you wanted to talk before we head out this evening.
Yeah, I had a couple of things. One was a personal thing, but I was talking to our good buddy Matt, Topps Living Stat, who's been an active participant in Topps Throwback Thursday since its inception, or at least over the last couple of years. They announced today that they're rolling it out to, instead of having 6 cards per week with different themes, they're going to be releasing 3 cards per week. And it's going to be 12 cards in a set. So over the course of January, the 4 weeks, there'll be 3 cards per week. And then the month of January will complete a set of 12. And now there's going to be short prints and parallels and things. And, we don't yet know the price point. Throwback Thursday had subscription-based options if you wanted to do that. We don't know if the cost is going to be the same for 3 cards as it was for the 6 cards. I would imagine it's probably going to be similar. It's just one of those things where we talked about Throwback Thursday and archives kind of, meshing together and creating a different product altogether. But you've got this. There's nothing wrong with it. Sure, we can talk about how unbalanced it is and how top heavy it is of certain teams and players, but come on, man. There was nothing wrong with it. We don't need parallels on everything. We don't need short prints on everything. And the other problem is, and why he's chosen personally to get out of it is, people buy this stuff and pre-sell it on eBay. And we talked about Topps Now, where the parallels are going to be part of the print run. So if you buy 10 of these and you pre-sell 8, there's a good chance you're going to get 3 or more parallels based on print runs. So you're not going to be able to fulfill orders, which is going to create issues for people that buy in bulk with the intent to sell on the secondary market. So you're probably going to see fewer and fewer sellers buying in bulk, which may in and of themselves create this whole thing as, we might start seeing smaller print runs to begin with. So some of these might just be organically short printed. So it might be one of those things where if you really want a card, you might have to buy directly from Topps, which might be their intent. So
yeah,
it's just, again, it just like we were talking about Sapphire, you don't need everything to be Sapphire and Chrome, and you don't need pre-releases like Bowman's First a week before Bowman comes out. It's just like, stop, man. And then you start shitting Steve Aoki X and Ben Baller this, and now Blake Jameson that. With all due respect to these people, it's nothing personal against them. They're taking a paycheck and they're creating new products for us to enjoy and collect. It's just too much.
Yeah, it becomes an oversaturation, and it doesn't become special anymore when they keep doing these things. I feel like you're just being a dead horse.
Yeah, just real quick too. And the other thing too, my wife had made me a really special Christmas gift that I shared a couple of weeks ago with the Mark McGuires that were cut up that said Dad, and she also took some 1987 Topps packs and cut those up and made this for me, which was really cool as an 8-year-old inside a 41-year-old's body, saying my name, Benjamin. That was really cool. I had geeked out on this so much at the age of 8. And I thought that was super, super cool. I knew she was going to be doing something really special with 87 Topps packs. So that was awesome. I can't wait to get that hung up on the wall with the other project, with some of my other A's memorabilia. So
cool.
Really, really appreciated her for doing something so unique, especially with her work schedule. I knew it wasn't easy for her to complete that before the holidays. So,
yeah, we also had one that came across our desk here at Stoffer 81. It's an F Cancer fundraisers break. Cancer sucks. My dad's friend of 10 plus years has to travel weekly for cancer treatment, traveling from Georgia to New York 4 to 5 days, which means flights, hotels, food, plus he has to partially pay for the treatment due to his insurance company's off-label regulations. They were doing breaks. Let's help make a dent in all those expenses. And so they were doing, looks like some baseball, some basketball, some football. So definitely something to check out. We'll share the link in there. Actually, it's baseball and football. I apologize.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm going to be writing for Prospects 1500, which is a website dedicated to prospects within the minor league systems. I wrote up a Bowman's Best review for them, but it's all minor league stuff. And Stoffer 81 is one of my colleagues over there on that. It's just and we all know cancer sucks, and most of us have probably either had a direct family member or indirect family member affected by cancer. Anytime we can kind of reach out and expand our family a little bit and help out, even if it's $5 or $10, goes to a good cause to help somebody in a tough time. We're all suffering from tough times. So if we can help out a little bit,
yeah, please do.
If you can't, you can't. Sometimes we can't, and that's okay too. Sometimes it is the thought that counts. I would love to help, but I can't. Maybe the next time you'll be in a better position, and pay it forward if you can.
Yep. Remember, guys, Steph, any final thoughts before we head out tonight?
I got none. Other than fuck cancer.
Yeah. The train is coming. Train is coming. The MLB site was 1,500 prospects, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good resource. Check it out. Remember, we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on YouTube.
10 Central.
Make sure to subscribe and review our show on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter about the cards. Follow Ben at Our Trading Cards. Follow Steph at Junk Wax Twins. Follow me at Big Chef 79. Remember, next week is Project 2020. We're going to discuss a lot with Chris Torres at CRT Sports Cards. He did quite a bit of research into that. He's going to be on the show with us next week, so we're going to have some great time. The following week, we're going to have Ryan Cracknell on with us, so it should be a good time. And we are going to start. We're going to start our bracket this week, but we're going to push it to next week and drop it live here on the show on Wednesday. So we'll go Wednesday to Wednesday, or Wednesday to Tuesday, and then we will be able to talk about the results on the Wednesday show. So be on the lookout for that as well. Please share your hobby stories, great polls. Send your questions our way. Keep collecting. We'll see you all next week.